I'm not doing anything, so I can do a commentary for this video here, for this stream. Hi, Cherry. Just doing some Journey to the Farlands. Is time up to in this lovely world here. On this day at this time. Well, I gotta collect some mushrooms. That is something I shall do. I gotta break. Actually, I might turn down my speakers in case audio does flood through. A whole lot going on. Oh, there's nice tree mushroom. It's going good. You know, the same old, same old. Work today. Did a Farland anniversary episode this morning. And now I'm doing before Journey to the Farlands. At least until I go to bed, which I don't really know how long I'll do it, because I'm hopefully planning on doing a marathon episode tomorrow. So I want to not stay up a whole real late. And plus I don't really care much to get much progress in this world. I'm more just doing this because I don't really feel like doing another Journey to the Farlands episode. Or not Journey, Farland anniversary of Journey to the Farlands, sorry. I don't really feel like doing one of those. So, yeah. No, yeah, that's fine. You don't, yeah, I don't really expect people to show up to everyone. I'm actually quite surprised that you've shown up to this many. I've had viewers, show up more than once kind of thing, like once or twice, maybe 3 times, but yeah, you've been around for a lot longer than most. There's someone else here too. Hi. Oh, whenever I think of this series, this before Journey to the Farlands, I always think of this like kind of cliche movie trailer. It was like before Journey to the Farlands there was blank, but no, I like I said, you don't have to show up for every stream. Like, I admire the dedication, but yeah, marathon tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do full commentary, depending on the length of the marathon, and if people do show up, I think other, just random folks, I might just turn on the mic, kind of thing, like I'm doing right now. But I'm not a whole lot really all that sure as to what I will do tomorrow, but I'll figure something out. Because I've done 2 marathon episodes before for Journey to the Farlands, but they were also both no commentary. And if I were to do a commentary, it'd probably only be like an hour or 2 at most. At least based off my own talking. This might diminish this little commentary here, but there's only so many things I can talk about. But I always think of back to what I was saying about the whole, it was like before Journey to the Farlands, there was nothing kind of thing. It reminds you of that. I don't know if any of you guys get what I'm saying, or I have like heard anything like that. Before this, there was nothing kind of thing. I just think of that whenever I think of before Journey to the Farlands, the series, because yeah, it's technically set before the streaming series. This is bit is similar and different to Journey to the Farlands, what you're used to, Cherry. It's the same world, but rewound quite a ways back. I only do this every once in a while. I intended on doing it a few times a week, but honestly, I don't really have the same level of motivation for this. I also don't want this to drown out Journey to the Farlands itself, so I'm just kind of doing this whenever. Because it's like, I think I have to walk 1.5 million walks in before Journey to the Farlands to get up to where I was at the beginning of Journey to the Farlands. And the whole reason I'm doing it is just to have a complete archive, just in case you're curious. That's nice. It's good. Wonder. Oh, where are we? Where are we in before during the Farlands? I want to try and reach this landmark. It was negative 580. Oh, I gotta go back a little ways. And then 67,000, so 3,000 blocks ahead. Quite a big terrain difference compared to the journey, the regular journey, but I'll catch up to the episode 13 of During the Farlands in due course. Oh, I should have made another boat. That would have been a bit more wise of me, but yeah, I won't worry about it. Yeah, the ocean extends out pretty far that way, so I should probably make a boat. That'd be a good idea. Well, I got a lot of stuff I can just throw out because I don't make dirt beds. I'm trying to make it as accurate as possible to how the journey was done back in the day. There was some minute differences. It wasn't actually a whole lot different, I'll be honest. I just like to make it sound a lot more different than it actually was. And I definitely didn't make the spinny beds back then. My inventory was full of a lot more junk. Of course, I guess you guys wouldn't know that. But oh, my pronunciation of boat is funny. Northern pronunciation. Yeah, I've gotten that a few times. I felt like the way I say things and whatnot. Very interesting. It's kind of second nature to me, and then it's quite different to others. But the same can be said for everything, because everything's relative. Everything is relative. Ooh, I'm a bit far this way. Fun. Boy, the sun sets on today already. Oh, that was a day. Wow. That did not feel like an entire Minecraft day. Time flies when you're walking to the Farlands, apparently. Well, apparently not this quickly, because yeah, I'm not used to it. Well, except for like the really good episodes where I just get into a real good talk. I've heard Southern accents before. There's definitely quite the difference between people from the north and people from the south. That's for sure. Yeah. Although I know there's like the stereotype that Canadians say a lot, and I'm definitely no exception to that rule. I don't know why. It's just in my genes from being Canadian for however many generations now. So yeah, that is. I don't think I say it on stream. I more just say it in real life when I'm just like asking questions and whatnot. I don't think many people actually do that outside of Canada. Or if they do, it's not quite to the degree that Canadians do it. I think that is definitely like a trope that is true. Definitely a lot more true than some people would like to admit. I'm sure there's a multitude of Canadians who don't say that, but there's also a lot who do. Oh, Jesus, zombie. I got absolutely surprised at the beginning of this episode with a whole bunch of creepers trying to destroy my just end me. Oh, I got a pillar up. But yeah, I definitely did not handle those creepers very well. Yeah, I've never been to nor like heard much from Texans, so I don't know how many of those stereotypes hold true, but I guess the way you're putting it makes sense. I don't actually know a whole lot of stereotypes about Texans. There's definitely some of the big ones, but there's definitely also a lot of stereotypes about Canadians that are don't apply to me. I'll say I won't admit whether they're true or not, but a lot of them don't apply. But it is what it is, indeed. You kind of don't really pick up on a lot of that more minute stuff. I'm sure some of the bigger lifestyle stuff you might be able to pick up on, but a lot of the minute details can kind of just, like I said, second nature. But yeah. Oh, where's this? Oh, I gotta work my way over this way. Probably the only thing that keeps this series interesting is the landmarks from the regular Journey of the Farlands, because I took screenshots even before I streamed. I took them right from the beginning, so I'm able to trace back the landmarks. I'm basically going the same direction I went in the same old Journey of the Farlands, the original journey, and I'm just going to all these landmarks that I once went to, just to try and emulate things a little bit. I won't exactly be the same route, because I can tell from like having to like rewalk certain chunks and whatnot that I never walk the same path twice. I have to definitely loosely string together a bunch of points in the terrain, just try and make it work. Because this was all done through like natural walking and drifting off, which I'm making it all too purposeful in this series, just so I can get around to these places. And the big difference for the original, like before streaming, I guess for the first like 8 episodes of Journey of the Farlands that I retconned, just because they had no commentary gaps between them. That was when I didn't do no commentary back then. But the big kind of difference was that I was walking in a straight line. Well, at least actually that time I was walking in a straight line, but it was a different one. Right now, I'm walking in a straight line, and I'm going to be going just about 250k, and then I'm going to swiftly change my mind and want to go to the corner of Farlands. It is quite complicated, but it is just all about getting this kind of archive complete. Because it'd kind of be a real stink. It'd be a real stinker to have that walk to the Farlands and have like 1.5 million blocks of it not recorded at all. So here I am re-recording it whenever I'm just out of things to do. Of course I could just do regular Journey of the Farlands, but I do that when I can do this, which is like the same thing. Yeah, that is an interesting way to put it. An interesting way for me to have put that. I'm tired. my vocabulary is a lot more interesting when I'm not quite all there. I have to say it was a long day. It was not really all that long of a day. Work wasn't terrible, but I just kind of generally get tired around midnight. At least start to. I'm quite glad that I didn't do commentaries around 2 a.m. when I used to finish episodes. I don't finish episodes at like 2 a.m. anymore, unless I'm staying up. Or unless I start at like midnight like that when I did like a week ago or whatever, a few days ago, where I did a no commentary stream. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit more tired at this time than I usually am. Although I think that timeline episode, that retrospective whatever thing with Devin, I was probably the most tired filming that. I was I could barely string together sentences. I was just, I don't even know how I was able to keep that thing going for so long. It was like 2.5 hours of just non-stop timeline talk, which was really fun to reminisce, but also I don't exactly know what happened. Oh right, that was after Java. Oh, that was quite the day. Yeah, I'm quite impressed that I was able to form together some actual like solid sentences and timelines and whatnot. It definitely got a little bit, the tiredness started to kick in, and I just kind of was going all over the place towards the end. But yeah, just smiling and nodding, that's for sure. I guess that's all you can do in a video like that, where it all is kind of just stuff of no real significance, at least to the viewer. To me, it's different. Why I was able to talk for so long about that. Oh, you should see the regular Journey to the Farlands. Where am I in that series? This is technically supposed to, this was recorded August, I think. Well, this was meant to have been recorded in August of last year, a year ago, basically. But I've gone about 3.8 million blocks to the Farlands. It's a lot of blocks. You're right about that. And whether I will be able to reach them in a long time or not, then or what, I actually, I just kind of more or less just say when, rather than if. I used to say if for a long time actually, but I've gotten a bit more optimistic now that I've gone like so far. But it's kind of just, yeah. Oh yeah, I'll reach a third in the Farland anniversary special thing I'm doing, because like I said, it's a year anniversary of the journey coming up. And I'll be doing some marathons, but like, to put that into perspective, that's at doing like an hour / multi-hour episodes pretty much almost every day for a year. Just to put that into perspective, it's a lot. But I think after a few marathons, I might be able to push back that arrival date a little bit closer, just so I don't have to worry about it impeding on future stuff too much. But it'll probably still take a great little while. But I have faith for sure. Oh yeah, it's a lot of dedication. And as I've told Cherry here, it's I don't even really know how I managed to keep this much dedication. It just kind of happened, and it just kind of is continually going. There's definitely something keeping me open in this world, because I could very easily just not. Or I very easily could have just not done that and had Journey to the Farlands be like a 1 day, 1 week thing. Yes, I know we talk about it every stream, but whenever a new person shows up and they're just like, "Holy, you going to the Farlands?" I kind of got to briefly summarize, paraphrase things a little bit. There's bound to be repetition in a series just that is exclusively walking and with one goal, that this journey may extend years or whatever. So there's my rebuttal to the repetition. And I've done this for, like, of course, you showed up relatively recently. Like, I don't even know how long it's been, probably a few weeks. But I've made that same like conversation. I don't even know how many times, because I did. I guess I'm on 180 or so episodes of the regular Journey to the Farlands, 4 episodes of this. How much Megasode stuff and whatnot and all that in between stuff that's not particularly numbered. A good maybe 25 parts. So that's like 230. Plus however many episodes it'll take me to get to that 1.5 million to where Journey to the Farlands begins. Which is probably bound to be like about 100 parts. If I even get around to getting or at least closing or completing this archive. Which I have my doubts about before Journey to the Farlands as a series. I don't have doubts about Journey to the Farlands though. I guess I'm kind of just used to it, a lot of it now that I'm just kind of just good just putting on the voice line basically and just letting the tape play. The pre-generated response NPC like this. Although to be honest, I've streamed Journey to the Farlands since October. Yeah, because of course there's that August, October. I've talked about that, but I've streamed it since October, and honestly, in all that time I hadn't had. I think you're probably You're probably the first person to be around, like I said, for this many streams. I don't think anyone's even come close. So you can feel proud for that dedication, even if it's not quite as great as the dedication of walking to the Farlands. It is definitely a dedication nonetheless. This is a whole another level. It really is. But yeah, like what, 10 months of streaming? Where's your feature episode? Yeah, I gotta do one of those. This could be it if you want. I usually let viewers, like if a viewer stick. Well, I usually let like if I can't come up with a title for an episode, I usually let before it was my friends come up with, my IRL friends come up with titles for episodes. Which has not happened in a long time, I'll add, because I'm very creative now with episode titles. I can kind of just spit stuff up and it just kind of works. Not all of them are the best, but you know, when you're dealing with hundreds of episodes of potentially just no commentary stuff and whatnot, usually the commentary ones get the best names, but no commentary kind of just gets the bottom of the barrel kind of stuff. But if you know, if you want to name an episode, just fire away. Although I've named a few episodes after things viewers have said as well, like two birds one stone. Let me see if I can find any other ones. I want to be credible. I want I want to have more than one example. Oh, it would have been a while ago. I don't think I've done all that many. Well, that was the last Journey to the Farlands non-anniversary episode. No, multifaceted, I came up with that one. Oh, I should do a Journey to the Farlands episode where I go through all the episode names. That would just be a complete just snooze fest though. That'd just be like episode 1, episode 77, episode 95. What was my inspiration behind that? And I feel like I'd ramble on way too much and it'd become like, maybe that's how I should do the marathon. No. That's too much. Me just looking at my videos for an entire episode. +200 videos. The longest playlist on my channel. Probably because Journey of the Farlands was the second series I ever did. And the first series, well, I talked about that in the retrospective episode. It was Newcraft, by the way. But yes, I digress. Well, I was gonna say, I was gonna almost like apologize or like be like, oh, I'm rambling again, but I was watching some Tinfoil Chef, Journey to the Farlands, and he put it best when he says the best way to journey to the Farlands is to ramble on, because that's really the only way you can do it. And also to do the Heidi poles, which is the bed thing I do. I actually got that from TSC. And of course, I think some other people who've gone to the Farlands have used that same method of like the bed pillar. I also do the Heidi hole, which is originally from Kurt J. Mack, the first person to attempt a journey to the Farlands, at least on camera. I don't know if anyone else actually ever did it off camera, but that was 12 years ago, and Kurt's still going. Although Kurt does a bit different rates of episodes. It's not quite as crazy as, say, Kill a Crazy Man, who did it in 9 months, or Fig, who also did it. I think Fig also did it in 9 months. I could have done it in 9 months, but it would not have been possible. At least in this past year. It was a busy year. To think a year ago I had a completely different job and was a lot was different a year ago. I'll just put it like that. I won't go into great detail. But yeah. But if it was like during COVID or something, like 2020, like when like I had too much free time, I don't even know what I did back then, honestly. I don't even know what would have been if Journey to the Farlands was done back then. It would have not been probably as glamorous as it was now, I'm sure. Because I would have just had that pandemic kind of just stir craziness. So I guess that's good that the journey didn't happen back then. I was also way younger in 2020. Although that's when the first actually Kilo Crazy Man reached the Farlands, and I think, was it 2021 or 2020? Might have been 20, so somewhere around there. I'm saying all these years. But the first person to reach the Farlands was the 2020s. Took a full, pretty much an entire decade for someone to reach the Farlands after they were released. They were only around for so long, from inf dev to beta 1.7.3. This version, the last version had the Farlands. Which, oh, don't even get me started about when I first started the journey. I was so paranoid that I picked the wrong version, and that like I would do the whole journey and the Farlands just wouldn't generate at all. I was so paranoid back then because I hadn't played beta that much, so I didn't really know the versions that well. So I was like, oh, beta 1.7.3, and I was like, wait. But I had to prove to myself that the Farlands, yes, they do exist in this specific version I play. I had no idea why I was so paranoid. I think I was just jumping to conclusions and whatnot. But that was a fun time for like the first few weeks of the journey. It might have been the first few weeks. Oh, I completely missed that landmark. It's okay. I seem to have a tendency to forget about the landmark thing with this series, where I'm trying to find things I found in the original journey. Whatever. I'll just go to whatever ones. Oh, that was like the old Pocket Edition Nether Tower looking like terrain. Where's this? Oh, I was past that. Past that. 68,889. Past that one. That's a bed. Oh, that one's pretty good. 74,000. 5,000 blocks from where I am right now. Probably an entire hour of walking. Oh, okay, less than an hour. I'll be nice. I'll be nice to myself. A bit more forgiving. Actually, you know what? Walking this way is actually slightly faster than walking diagonally. Bit of a fact. It's about a 2.5 to 2.5k to 3k difference per hour, which is I don't know how long that was muted. I don't know. I was kind of just rambling on, so it's all right. Didn't miss much. Kind of just rambling on about nonsense. Right. The journey to the Farlands. That's probably why you weren't talking in the chat for like minutes, because I just went silent. That's happened a few times. I don't know why. I've done commentaries for so long, and it's only came up recently, so I have no idea what causes that. But at any rate, I'm continuing my maiden voyage, as Devin would say, off to the Farlands we go. I guess basically I'll just clear the last however many minutes of talking from my brain and just maybe rewind the tapes. If I come up with anything new to say. Or anything like from those discussions. Oh yeah, that's true. I tend to just do that. I tend to just the mic just turns off or whatnot and all that jazz. A lot of that stuff happens. That's part of the value of doing everything live and one take, which is really the only way during the Farlands can be done, because the complete archive thing. So live and one take. I don't record it. I don't edit it. I just stream it and I upload it. And I mean, if I have to edit out breaks, I do. But I usually tend not to anyway. Well, I haven't talked to Devin recently. Well, I talked to him this morning, or I shot him a few messages, but I guess I could send him a message at midnight. I'm sure Devin's just. Oh, I guess Devin would just be hanging out with a friend, because I think Devin's hanging out with someone. Oh well. I will shoot him a message. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll send a belated message. There's a bit of delay. On the message. It reminds me of one of the funniest bits I had with a friend like a year or two ago, where basically it would be like pretending to do something, and then it would be like I'll have a long delay, or like getting in an argument, that kind of funny stuff. Or getting into like a argument, having like delayed response and whatnot. That was always funny. Something about that kind of humor is hilarious, at least to me. Yeah, I'll just send like a message, like if you were to send a message to someone from space or something. I swear it's like there's like this thing where it takes messages a lot longer to send, just like another planet kind of thing. Of course it would, because yeah, but like if you were to, I think it was Mars, I'm thinking. Was it Mars, or it was one of the planets? It was like the moon or Mars or something. If it was like if you were to send like an emergency message, then Earth would receive it 9 minutes later. I think it was like 9 minutes or something. Some kind of like emergency message, like in danger, or like any kind of message at all. Like basically, theoretically, I don't think that that's actually how it would work, but yeah, it's like that. It's like that long-winded discussion out of the way. Aliens freak you out. Aliens don't really freak me out. I just kind of have accepted the fact that there could be other stuff out there, but it's just not really. It's of course something that's prevalent. We're all so used to just being being in this everyday life and taking everything for granted, and not really seeing beyond the normality, but or at least what we'd consider normal. Watched that movie Alien at 9 years old. And the face huggers. Oh, Alien, yeah. Oh, that's a classic. But also probably traumatizing to a 9-year-old. I don't think anything traumatized me like movies like that. I don't think I don't think I had movies like that that traumatized me as a kid. Yeah, I'm sure. I guess I had like no life because I'm sure everyone has those kinds of things. But I don't really recall much of that. Maybe like late night TV, like staying up, kind of past bedtime kind of thing. But I nothing that I'd remember now. Nothing, I guess, traumatizing enough, which I guess is good. Yeah, I guess that's good. It's good that nothing did that, cause that kind of response. But I digress. I'm going to build one of my Heidi poles, as Tinfoil Chef would call it. Hmm. Yeah, I got siblings too. Or sibling, I also got a sibling who definitely watched late night TV. So yeah, I'd stay up with them watching late night TV. And I'm sure I probably saw a thing or two on the television because it was like, the cartoon channels and whatnot after dark, and like the TV shows after dark and whatnot. But yeah, oh, the original It movie. Whenever I think of the original It, I just think of the scene of what is it, Tim Curry doing the horn thing, honking the horn. That's all I think about when I think of original It, because I never actually saw it. So that's just the only thing I know remember from any like media from that. Is just seeing a video, like a video of that, like probably like a review for something, or rather some clip. I don't know. It was something in the grapevine many moons ago, I'm sure. Nothing that I can remember. Oh, I guess I'm starting to weigh down the tools a little. Oh, I actually got a lot of diamonds. I forgot I had that many. Oh, right. Right, I was like, I could have sworn I had only like 20 something diamonds, but that's just during the Farlands. Oh, yeah. Although I am looking forward to the end of the Farland anniversary, because I get to do an outpost. That's what I have planned for next week, is an outpost. An unnecessary one, I'll add, because I have a lot of diamonds still. But I just feel like doing an outpost again. It's been since January. Literally January was the last time I actually stopped in Journey to the Farlands. And that was actually the first time I stopped since August as well. August through to January was a clean, day every day. The streak was held that whole time. And I walked every day, hour episode or so a day. Maybe sometimes longer ones. But it was a bit rarer back then, of course, with school and stuff. But yeah, it was good times, because that was a nice steady streak. And then Outpost 1 was what was it? The Land Before the End. Or Land It was dubbed Land Before the End. Not by me, it was a viewer who did that. And it was also a viewer who suggested I do an outpost. Or at least like a base of some kind. I didn't do the base they suggested, which was an underground base. But maybe and then the next outpost next week or in the future, because I'm sure there'll be plenty more outposts, which are just formal fancy name way of me calling bases. Yeah, that's fair. Hmm. But yes, Outpost 1. And then I did Outpost 2, I think only a few weeks after that. which I did Outpost 2 during when I had COVID in January. Because I did Outpost 1 at the beginning. I did like, literally January 1st. It was I did a New Year's stream where I called it New Year, New Outpost. That's how I celebrated New Year's. Of course, knowing me, I would spend New Year's doing that. I did some. I should join a Discord call after that. But anyway, I did that, and I did Outpost 1 right into the new year. And that was what, August to January. It was about 4 or 5 months. Wow, pretty good. And of course, Outpost 1 to Outpost 2 was a few weeks because I think I died and I lost my stuff, so I had to do an outpost. I spent one day doing an outpost. It was called Uno for that reason, because it was one day. That was my weak laugh. It wasn't actually that funny. I was more laughing at my laugh, not the actual joke. But yeah, I did Uno, the second outpost, a few weeks later when I had COVID, and that was a fun time. That whole week, I did a megasode when I was sick. Although it just had to do with the outpost. I died probably due to me being ill and just not really noticing things. And I think I fell into like a lava waterfall. Or lava waterfall. Lava fall. Jeez. Lava waterfall. I don't know. I swear I've said that before too. The funniest thing is I've seen lava run into like water illegally, as people would call it now, illegal Minecraft. Oh yeah, I got it a week in January, and it was probably the worst or the sickest I've ever been. And the thing about it was that I was just there were some symptoms that were the same, but there was stuff that popped up that I like. It was like new stuff every other day. Some, like I said, some stuff was constant, but there was a lot of stuff that just kind of popped up. You kind of, I mean, I'm just that kind of person that cracks themselves up, but it's also how I keep going and Journey to the Farlands for so long with commentaries. That's just a thing I do. But yeah, it was a time for sure. Like, what was some of the biggest things? I think the worst symptom was probably the brain fog, which was something I had never experienced before in any illness. So like, it was really weird. Like it felt like you're almost like spectating yourself, almost like you're like delayed on everything. So like I remember when I started Sarber in January, that when I started Sarber, I still had that brain fog, and that lasted a good little bit. Luckily it cleared up before COVID left, because I didn't have any long-term symptoms, luckily, because I know that's a thing. But holy, it did definitely hit me hard, and it was luckily right after exams. But unfortunately, I'm sure other people probably got sick as a result, because I, of course, didn't know I had it up until that point. And it started with like a simple little headache at the last exam day. It was like this little, beating headache kind of thing. And I was just like, that's weird. I usually don't get headaches. And yeah, that's kind of when it started. And when I got with that, like evening was when it really started kicking in. And then I spent, my parents went on a trip, so I was spending all this time just in bed this like entire week, which was just meant to be a break. And I was like so excited to, record lots of Journey to the Farlands. That's probably why I did the megasode and all that recording, because I wanted to get coverage in Journey to the Farlands. And I probably pushed myself a little bit at times just because I was excited, but it was fun nonetheless, and I got out of it just fine, unscathed. So it was all right. But I ended up having to do an outpost and all that. Well, I don't know. I usually don't get headaches. That was the thing. Like I have gotten headaches from being dehydrated before, from like work and stuff, because I have a bit of an arduous job. So when I'm not hydrated, I can get a headache. It's happened a few times, but I generally stay hydrated. So usually the only times I get headaches is from illness, like COVID. I don't think I've ever gotten many. Like I got one years and years ago, just out of the blue. It was quite a few years ago, but yeah, it's pretty rare for me. And I know you're pretty well used to it. I've heard your stories and chats and in our chats and whatnot. But yeah, Outpost 2 was in January, so January last Outpost, and it's been a long time because it's the 8th month, so it's been 7 months since I've done an Outpost, which I'm quite impressed by because I still have 20 something diamonds, but also the diamond count did reset a few times because I also did lose my stuff. I think one more time after that, and I haven't died that much. Died enough to lose my stuff anyway. That since I've died in Journey to the Farlands. It's not uncommon for me. I'm generally not the most wary player, I'll be honest, even in my hardcore adventures series that I did many months ago. I was not I definitely could have died many times. So yeah. I'm just I don't know. I think I'm patient enough, but I think I'm too impatient to I'm not patient enough to, take the game slow, which I definitely do try to do. Although most of the time, I will say, most of the time I have died in Journey to the Farlands or gotten myself in real bad situations is when I am kind of just doing something else. Because while doing no commentary, I am very susceptible to, doing other stuff like mobile games or social media or, watching something. So yeah, I can definitely distract myself a little bit with the multitasking. And well, I think the first death was definitely related to COVID, I'm sure, and like just a general brain fog. But I might have also been distracted, so yeah, I will never know. Or just a general lack of awareness too. I could be completely focused and just have no idea that there's like a whole horde of skeletons after me, which was one of the deaths. A whole bunch of skeletons just shoot me with arrows, and I tried to escape, and I ended up falling to the ground and losing my stuff because I couldn't find it. Because I went back, yeah, it was a mess. It was a bit of a mess. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I have to do other stuff. Like commentary is out of the question for the entire journey. If I were to do it like once or twice or maybe even 3 times a week, I'm sure I would be able to do commentary because back when I only did commentary episodes, I could do like 2 to 3 episodes a week, like even with school and stuff, which definitely could have worked. But then again, if I had only done that like level of episodes like 3 times a week, I would not have been where I was now. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. It it My rate of like an hour a day has gotten me this far, and that's already crazy enough. That's crazy enough for sure. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to keep myself sane. Well, at least when I'm not doing commentary, I'm probably watching something like a TV show or YouTube series or something, or we just listening to music. I also just do that and just kind of vibe. That's also something that is a lot of fun actually. It definitely helps pass the time. I think the thing that passes the most time is having a conversation like this Like it definitely did not feel like an hour. Like it did not feel like how I usually streaming for an hour feels like. Do I dream in Minecraft? Do I ever dream in Minecraft? What do you mean, like a daydream kind of thing? Like what? I'm just curious what you mean by that. It's very open ended. That's all really. Like I'm trying to interpret it, but I feel like it could be interpreted a lot of ways. Just so. Oh, like when. Oh, um, that's weird because I don't think I like in my dream world, like whenever I'm like dreaming, like if even if it's like related to Minecraft, I don't think it's necessarily Minecraft because I've definitely have had dreams of Minecraft. I've never had a Journey to the Farlands dream, which would be crazy. Actually, is kind of crazy considering the amount I've done. Definitely considering the amount of episodes I've done. It's crazy how many like days I stream this and not have a dream about Journey to the Farlands. But I've definitely had dreams quite a while ago about like new craft and stuff. But I don't think I've ever really had like a Minecrafty dream. At least one that I can remember off the top of my head. I might have a long time ago, like I said. Like I've had one with new craft with like Thaddeus, the demon overlord or something, or like destroying Newcraft or something, or it was like some kind of thing with like the admin. Like it was like actually it was before the admin even existed as a character for Newcraft, so it was pretty much a foreshadow, almost like a premonition. But I don't really believe in that. Although I do believe in deja vu because I definitely have had stuff like that where like I've dreamt something and then it plays out a few weeks later, and it's kind of hard to like at least have it like an excuse for it because it's kind of undeniable after it happens long enough. It's definitely happened a lot of times, although usually I don't know. It just seems to be work out just, the pieces fall right into place the way I want them to. I think it might just be like a feeling though, deja vu, rather than an actual thing. But I don't know. Either side could be argued. I kind of like to think that dreams can tell the future, but yeah, that I mean, knowing the power of false memory through like I've seen like the Vsauce video where he basically just creates false memories, which the brain can be easily manipulated, especially by itself. So I would not be surprised if deja vu is just some weird feel. Like just I don't even know what the reasoning behind it would be. Almost like some sort of reality check, almost I guess, but not even really. Just kind of something weird that happens to a lot of people. I don't know if it happens to everyone, but I definitely know it happens to a lot of people because it's got this whole term, and there's probably entire groups of people who are like, the dreams are telling the future. I kind of like to entertain that idea, but more or less, I don't really believe in that. In all truth and science and whatnot, or fact and whatnot. Oh, this is pretty cool. I wonder if I took a screenshot of this. No, I definitely did not. Mm, oh yeah, dreams. Dreams are weird. As I know a lot of people think it's like a lot of people think it's like simulated consciousness, like practice. Some people think it's recycled thoughts, like what Iggy said, making up stories. Although I've also had a lot of dreams that have to do with like emotions and like feelings and like people in general. So I almost argue it has some like of course stuff from like your mind pops into it. So I don't know. It's always something weird to look into because yeah, the dreams are weird. They're quite odd. They are indeed quite odd because I've had dreams that simulate scenarios of like things I've felt anxious about. You know, like getting like lost and like all that kind of stuff, and like new feelings and whatnot. So it's kind of weird, like you said. I mean, it's a little bit fascinating, but also just a little weird. But yeah, definitely something you could. That entire books have been written on. Entire courses have been developed surrounding. Oh gosh, I've started going to the corner Farlands. No, without going to the corner. God, that's my default. That's the default. I gotta override. Yeah, dreams. Okay, it's kind of hard, kind of weird, hard to even explain or delve into because it's just something that we have such little understanding about. Just kind of something the brain does during sleep. So that's all I care to know. Although I have pretty good memory of them. Although actually recently I haven't really remembered them. Funnily enough, I remember having really good memory for dreams. Like I'd remember them quite often, but now I kind of just maybe they're just too standard. Maybe I'm just tired of the same old station. Right. But maybe I just don't really feel the need to pay attention to them as much. I don't like sleeping in general, to be honest. Well, yes, I guess sleeping. So I know I value the importance of sleep because I know what I'm like when I don't sleep, and I rely basically entirely on natural energy. Like I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink coffee. I haven't had a drop of coffee in my life, basically. So I'm Mr. Circadian rhythm. So and also in like a survival sense, sleeping is considered a weakness because of course you're sleeping, you're vulnerable, and you're not really doing a whole lot. Your brain's just not really doing a whole lot. Kind of just it really just gives your body time to, I guess, heal, do things that you can do while you're awake, but it gives it more time to do that kind of stuff because your brain's still active while you sleep. Of course, that's how dreams happen, and that's how you don't die in your sleep. So sleep is value, at least somewhat valuable. I don't really feel the need to stay up all night either. I definitely can lose track of time, like I am doing right now, where lots of time is just going by and I just feels like nothing. Yeah. Oh, is this? Oh, it's a blasted spawner. Ah, God. The reason why I'm reacting like, oh no, actually it's only one block. Okay. Never mind. I was about to like, flip out my lid or whatever the saying is. Oh, just because. Oh yeah, that's kind of something that's a little bit different. Is the water, the underwater thing, the bubbles and whatnot. They just refill completely when you go out of water. In modern Minecraft, it like takes a bit of time to refill. But I'm starting to go into some just complete rambly territory. But oh yes, I can go to that conversation that I don't think you heard. I think that was when my mic was not on. Rambling is essential to Journey to the Farlands, according to Tinfoil Chef. Anyway, I'm sure you could definitely make. Actually, that is quite the challenge, actually, to make The things I do. Oh geez, that's loud. Let me readjust. I just switched mic. I figured out the problem. I figured it out. Oh, okay. Audio's still working. I did figure it out. The mic was just like dead, and I just kept turning it back on, and it kept dying. It was a simple solution, but I didn't realize that it was so low battery. It didn't alert me or anything. I thought I charged it, but I guess not. I guess I used it far too many times, and it had died. I was about to say something a bit more poignant, but I lack the verbose to do that right now. The crispy mic returns, yes. This is the mic that I started during the Farlands with. I actually started streaming with. So it's not quite as glamorous as the other one, I'm sure. This one's definitely a lot cheaper. The other one was the one I got for, what was it, birthday present? Yeah, I guess it was birthday. That was back in November. And I haven't used this mic since, although I only use this mic when the other mic dies. I mean, otherwise I would just go completely silent, but I don't want to leave you out to dry. At least for today. Tomorrow I'm probably not going to be as forgiving. If people show up, I'm probably not going to talk for as long, just due to the marathon nature, but yeah. Mic should work for a little while anyway. A little while longer than the other one. Oh, I'm getting tired. Sometimes you talk like an Oscar Wilde novel. I've never read Oscar Wilde, so I wouldn't know. But I don't know if that's a compliment or a or what, but I will take it nonetheless. What's this? Oh, is this the landmark that I was talking about? Oh no. This is just a landmark. Oh, I didn't even press F3 for that last landmark, I don't think, but whatever. Okay, gonna just yawn real quick. Oh, that's why I recognize that name. I've heard of the book, just never read it before. It was from I remember it was from a list for a novel study. And I picked Moby Dick instead. It was a bunch of classics, and I picked Moby Dick, which was interesting. Looking back on it, it was a, for the plot, for the actual plot, it was good. It just had a lot of like biology and religion filler basically. Which actually the religion part was kind of neat, but it yeah, it was definitely interesting though. And also the language used in that, like, of course, like the writing style back for, like, it was like a 19th century novel, of course. So it was definitely a lot different. And it was, of course, that, like, a bit of almost that, like, pirate speak almost. Not quite the stereotypical pirate speak, but, like, some of that, like, old-fashioned language. And almost a bit of Old English that kind of survived at that point. Yeah, classics are great. I definitely got to get a bit more into book collecting and reading in general, because I actually enjoy books. But yeah, I think by the end of it I was a bit more used to it. I think if I were to reread it, it would be a bit better. just because I at least know what's going on, so I don't have to pay attention much more to the plot. I can just kind of see what exactly Melville is getting at. It's kind of, honestly, reading that book was honestly kind of like watching Journey to the Farlands, probably commentary. uh, it just kind of goes places and then comes back and then goes other places. Although, I guess that's how you fill 460 odd pages. Much like my own Journey to the Farlands here, that's how I fill however many episodes it takes to the Farlands. There's a lot of similarities, I guess. But yeah, it was a good book. Treasure Island. I think that was also on the list too. There was a lot of books and plays on that list though. It was all the classics. Well, probably not everyone, but like most of them, most of the big ones anyway. Another good one that I read, it's not like pirate speak, but I enjoyed it for like the survival stuff. It was Lord of the Flies. That was a good one. I've only read so few novels from school, so I got a limited book list that I've read. So that's one of the oldies I've read. That one's good. Gotta love the just descent into you got all that lovely stuff. All that lovely madness. I noticed that I really like books that involve madness because really Moby Dick is just an extended just story of just a captain's madness and pursuit of something, which I've compared that to Journey of the Farlands, of course, with my pursuit of the Farlands being much akin to Ahab's pursuit of the whale. Oh yeah, you did that as a play at your school. Wow, that must have been quite the play to do Lord of the Flies. I remember reading it. It was a wicked book because it had a lot of stuff going on. Of course, with the kids and whatnot, and Piggy. Oh, Piggy. Uh, hmm. Although I'm pretty old-fashioned, actually. I definitely like a lot of older style stuff, older music, older books, older novels and whatnot, older TV, film. It's quite fun, quite fun. Count of Monte Cristo. That was also on the list. That buddy list it's got everything. Count of Monte Cristo. That one might be interesting. I might look into that at some point. I'll keep that in the back of the noggin for whenever I go to a bookstore next or I'm looking for a book to get into. At least watch the movie. Oh, it's silent. I'm getting pretty tired. But Oh, 80s clothing. Oh, that's neat. I think if I'd collect anything, like if I were to collect anything, it'd probably be records. I only have one, but that's definitely something I'd consider collecting in the future. And 70s. Honestly, fashion from that's definitely a very interesting era of fashion for sure. I definitely see why you'd have an interest in like 70s and 80s fashion. I'm interested. I really like the music from the 70s and the 80s. That your range is quite broadly. Quite broadly. I don't even know what that means. I'm just speaking. Oh, I gotta place a torch here. There we go. It's probably why I have such an interest in like records, just like vinyls, just because I just really like the music of the time. Uh, it's quite broad. I think some of the first stuff was like, oh, what was like the first stuff I got into? There was some more modern stuff that was like in that style, like from like Heartcraft, Scar used a lot of this like music that kind of emulated the style. It was an artist. It was more modern, and I kind of got into some older stuff, like oh, what was some of the first artists? I remember Steve Winwood was one of the first artists I got into, and that was kind of some of the first 80s music I actually really got into, because I listened to a lot of the classics as a kid, but a lot of the stuff I really do like is like, oh, what was I saying? I'm losing my train of thought just because my brain's going other places. But yeah, if we got into a lot of that stuff, that was quite a few years ago. Steve Winwood. I'm trying to remember the first ones. I'll just think of the big names. Michael Cimbello, like Maniac. That was a good one. Think of ones. Foreigner. E002. What's another one? REO as well. Another acronym. So that's kind of some of the mainstream stuff. Alan Parsons Project. I'll just name like the general like artists and bands and whatnot. And Paul McCartney, some of that older, like some more like that 60s stuff. That kind of ranges. And then especially a lot more recently, in recent years, since like a few years ago, I definitely got a lot more into like the synthy stuff, where I kind of got into things like Home, which was another recent artist I found a few years ago, which is Resonance, which is a very popular. I think it might even be vaporwave or whatever, synthwave. I don't know what you'd call it. I'll get into vaporwave too. So kind of all of that stuff. And I especially got into actually like I realized that the French made really good 80s music. So I've been into a lot of those 80s French artists that not a lot of people actually know of, I'm sure, outside of France. It's kind of niche, but the music's really good, at least for my taste. It's very specific to my taste. I like synth pop, Italo disco. I'm just naming off genres I'm into. Like some very unique sounds for sure. I would be going on for days if I actually were trying to name specific artists. I could actually go through the playlist and name artists, but yeah, lots of pretty cool music. Sorry, someone messaged me. But yeah, I'm a bit of a 80s music buff, hence why I'm into records and stuff. I just kind of like the uh, auditory stuff, whatnot. I get that. Pretty much. You're metal. You hate new metal. You only like classic metal or hair glam metal. Yeah, yeah. I never really got into metal, or like metal or some rock, but I don't. Maybe rarely metal. Maybe some older stuff, but I'm pretty selective with it. But yeah, that is a very interesting genre. Very, very good. Where are we at? Oh, an hour 28. Well, I can do it. I'll try and go to 2 hours. Or maybe I'll fall asleep before then, or just decide to end the episode before then. But I'm liking this conversation. Liking the music stuff. But I have a real interest in physical, like audio stuff. Because of course I was born in like a generation that never really, of course, sees that kind of stuff. But did an English paper on over Ronnie James Dio, if you know who that is. No, I have no idea. No, it doesn't ring any bells. No bells are ringing. But punch bloody trees. Yeah, shows how much I know about the metal music genre. uh, but I made all the metal fans, I'm sure including you, be a little like, what? How do you not know? But well, there's so many musical genres out there. There's a lot, actually. Too many to name in one episode, I'm sure. So, it comes no surprise to me that I don't know absolutely everything about everything. Yes. Gosh, I'm just thinking. Get lost in my thoughts. Definitely something I do a lot in the real life. I don't. Well, I sound like a broken record. But I do that a lot. I drift off a lot. I like to move on to new topics really quickly if I think of something really good to talk about. That's how the commentary works. It's a competitive thing for topics to compete. It's difficult to get one to. That's why I actually don't have many complete thoughts. I'm probably gonna end the episode after this day here. I'm getting pretty tired. Having trouble stringing sentences together again like last night, so I'm probably gonna tap out soon enough. Of course, natural energy, like I said, so I won't be able to go on as long as I'm sure you can, but yeah. I've been doing a lot of it recently, just because I've been really excited about a lot of stuff.
but like most of the time before this, before this week, I usually just do like one commentary for every 5 during the Farlands videos I do. So that I was intending for this one to be a no commentary episode, but I just kind of decided, you know what, I feel like talking once you showed up. I was just like, I should just talk, man. I don't regret it. But I could definitely not do this every episode. Yeah. I would name the episode that, but I've also done an episode called Mr. Efficiency. I feel like that, you know what, I've definitely riffed on episode titles, so I could definitely do that. But yeah, that's probably the closest I've got to an episode title, for the whole thing. Because at the beginning of the episode, I got blown up by a bunch of creepers, and the first thing that came to mind was the thing from Plants vs Zombies, the spadal thing, but that's not clever enough. Mr. Circadian Rhythm is funny. It references something. Oh, if you're making a quote book, it'd go on for days, because like pretty much every episode in the playlist comes from some random thought I've had. Like some of them just make absolutely no sense. Some of them are just general sayings. Actually, a lot of them are general sayings. A lot of them are references. It would be quite long for a quote book, I must say. My vocabulary is very, very interesting compared to the average person's, I'm sure. I just have a bit of a different way with words than the normal person, I'm sure. That is the case. True, indeed. Oh, the sun sets on this day here, and I'm... Oh, where am I? I always have to think. I wonder if that was it back there. Oscar Wilde. That's what I'm saying. Well, I guess anyone watching over on YouTube, anyone watching at home, can let me know if there's any Oscar Wilde fans watching other than Cherry. Maybe some other people can attest to it too. Who knows? Because I have no idea. Really makes me want to look into that at some point, or at least quotes or something, or like something to that nature or something, like quotes from Oscar Wilde. Oh, I'm not. I don't want to sleep. I'm breaking the bed. I gotta end the episode. I try to end the episode at night. I don't know why. It's a part of my rhythm for the episodes. It just works. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the episode here. I'm pretty tired. I gotta get this moved on over to YouTube, and then what else am I gonna do? Well, I'll see. But that's gonna do it though. I'm pretty tired. I'm just gonna keep rambling on if I let myself. Importance of being earnest is a play that's pretty good. Alright. Well, I'll have to look into some things later. But yeah, thank you guys though for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.